This playthrough is rated M for mature.
What do you do with a locked up rigger? What do you do with a locked up rigger? What do you do with a locked up rigger early in the morning? Greetings and salutations, viewers. Vauldemare back here with another episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. In the last episode, we went to the facility doing a plot-related thing to clear some loose ends, and the rigger we're trying to find is right here, this dwarven man. And, well, we're going to finish the job. But how do we do it? Let's find out. Are we going to do the job or something else? Hello, good sir. We have been sent to kill you. Or however the line goes. Yeah. Come with me if you don't want to live. The door slides open and the stench of stale sweat assaults your nostrils. Einstad steps forward, his bloody lips curled into a smile. The soles of his boots squeak on the polished tile floor. Free at last, thank Christ. His smile widens into a sickly grin. Tar-stained teeth shine wetly in the light. Didn't think I'd warrant a rescue. Whoever sent you, thank him for me. Afraid you're wrong about that. I was sent here to tap loose ends, namely you. His eyes go wide. He raises his trembling hands in surrender. Oh, there, Chief. I don't know what your client told you. He told us enough. Alright, let's see. Yeah, it doesn't matter what he told us. The Condor says that we had to put you down. His eyes go wide and his voice becomes shrill. Yeah, but did he tell you that we did exactly what he told us to? Did he tell you that this was his bad intel that got me hung out to dry like this? Sounds familiar. Please, hear me out. I promise I'll make it worth your while if you do. Glory shrugs. Couldn't hurt to hear what he has to say. His hands clasp in front of him in a sign of supplication. You can see the terror in his eyes. Go ahead, talk. All right, okay. So we go in, right? Me and my team, and we're doing what the client told us to. Well, the bastard forgot to mention that Pharma had a knight-errant security contract for the place. He told us there would be little, if any, resistance. So imagine our surprise that a KE response team kicked in the door and unloaded on us. Now, if you have an etiquette Shadowrunner, you can get some extra dialogue. And there's actually, this whole mission has quite a bit of etiquette Shadowrunner stuff for it, especially if we decide to go a different way with our the mission. But the etiquette Shadowrunner would have been quit trying to shift blame, adapting to unanticipated situations as part of a Shadowrunner's job description. But we don't have that, so. According to the client, the reason why Knight-Errant showed up was because your team started slaughtering the lab staff. That's bullshit. They attacked us, and then Knight-Errant showed up and everything went to hell. Look, I can see that you're skeptical. I get that. Can't blame you for it either. You don't know me for a madam, but I know one thing that you will understand. I'll like to offer you a trade. I've got a little toy hidden away, managed to stash it before those Knight-Errant pukes took me. My own design, totally one of a kind. I'd call it a pain inducer. Grade A fun for the Shadowrunner as everything. I guarantee you'll never find another. It's basically a taser, by the way. You'll let me live, and it's all yours. I'm putting a fucking ribbon on it for you. Then I'll disappear, never bother any of you again. Scout's honor. Even if we consider going on mission. She shoots you a significant glance. Which we wouldn't. She turns back to Einstein, staring him down. Did you honestly think that we sacrifice our professional integrity and a 15,000 yen payday for a trinket? He nods slowly. 15, huh? I can match that. You let me live and I'll pay you a wage, plus the inducer. Hell, you could even tell your client I'm dead and bill him too. Double your earnings. What do you think about that? That's not quite how that works in this case, because, well, we'll find out here in a second. Basically, the difference between how you want to do this job is you can either, basically, if you want to get the best karma reward, if that's important to you, then killing him right now is the most to go. You can affect the mission a bit other ways. Weirdly enough, this mission gives you multiple chances to kill this guy, even if we release him now, which is funny. But you don't get the most karma reward if you don't kill him now, because it's based off the job description and everything like that. Because karma is based off completion notes. If we let him live and then kill him later, you get 1 karma. And then if you kill him at the very end, you get no karma, and you can grab whatever rewards he promised you at the time. And then there's another event that you can do, but for the sake of karma's sake, I'm gonna kill him now. But that's up to you how you want to do it. I'm gonna just finish talking to him and then go with it. So how'd you come by 15 grand? I hit a payday a while back. Put the extra cash in my rainy day fund. Trust me, pal. I can pay you the money. Yell me out and I'll transfer it to you myself. We just need to get back to the room where I stashed my PDA. But yeah, you get the money either way. So it's however you just want to roleplay it. What does the pain inducer do exactly? Induces pain, he sniggers. It's a narrow band microwave projector, causes debilitating pain in a target, screws with the electrical systems of a drones and the like. Think of it like a taser, only easier to use and meaner and a whole lot more fun. No dice, time to die. You even got a free strike of me, and I'm the character who can't take the hit, so. Anyway, we're just gonna blast the crap out of him soon. Okay, seriously, I'm in a spot where I can't just blast him. Yeah, he's got like no HP, so one hit will kill him. I kind of wish you just auto-killed him instead. That'd be more useful. Anyway, Einstad's lifeless body lies crumbled on the ground. His mouth is frozen open in a silent scream. Good call back, Fire. Iger nods at you. We all knew what we were here to do. Good on you for stepping up and doing it. I mean, if you don't do it, Iger gets on your case. No one else really has an issue with you saving them if that's what you choose to do. But, and here's another scene up ahead we'll tell you about the whole, where you can get one karma from. If you do this requirement instead, so as soon as we get out of here. Yeah, we just need to exit. And the action music's still going despite the fact Einstad is dead. But okay. Who's here? Who's that? Knight Errant? The leader of the group is an elf with Asian features. He's obviously a vat job. The bands of corded muscle that bulge out under his sleeves have a distinctly store-bought look to them. When he speaks, his voice comes out in a gravely rumble. My, the intrepid Blackwire with no rigor in sight. I must admit, I am surprised. Yeah, well, that makes two of us. Who the hell are you? Herr Fuchs sent us to check up on you. Given his recent troubles with Shadowrunners, this should not come as a surprise. The company man smiles and nods slightly. I shall return and report your task completed to my satisfaction. Good day. Yeah, if you save the rigger, then they bring up the fact that the rigger's alive, and you can either choose to, if you have the Shadowrunner etiquette, you can immediately kill Einstad right there, and you get one credit for, or one karma for doing your job in front of your boss, or in front of the bosses, like goons or whatever. Obviously, or you could choose to fight them to save Einstad. So, but like I said, all Einstad gives you is obviously the payment for the job in a different way, and the pain inducer, which is really not that big of a deal. In transit, your subway car is empty on the return trip to the cruise bazaar. The stretch of the sprawling U-Bahn tunnel system doesn't seem much use, it seems, at least not at this hour. As the train rattles on, you find yourself lost in thought. Old memories creep unbidden to the forefront of your mind. Memories of Monica in the old days and the crew that you used to run with. Memories of success and failure, of wealth and poverty, of good times and bad. Halfway back to the cruise bazaar, you're jolted out of your reverie by a buzzing sound. You're receiving a call. Your comlink buzzes. A quick glance at the screen tells you that Amsel is on the line. You pick up and his voice ring fills your ear. Blackwire, I trust I'm catching you at a good time? As good a time as any. What's up? I have made contact with another prospective client, a rather elusive woman named Aslan of Aslancer descent. She calls herself Frau Mueller. What's the job? She will not say, not to me at any rate. She has insisted that it should be only with you. She wants to meet with you in half an hour's time, at a location of your choosing. How do we know that this isn't a huge waste of time? We don't, per se, but Frau Mueller did tell me what she was offering for the work. 36,000 Nuyen. An impressive sum, Blackwire. Quite enough money to justify a meeting, I would think. If you don't feel that she's on the up and up, you can always refuse the job. That's a lot of money. Alright, count me in. Very good. I'll instruct her to come to the cruise bazaar when you... Where would you like to meet? Oh yeah, let's go to Cafe Sesvi. Altuk's going to find out about this anyway. Might as well have this discussion in comfort. Noted, I'll set the meeting. Blackwire, there's one other thing you should... Your comlink cuts to static. A moment later, the lights of the U-Bahn can flicker and wink out. You hear the screeching sound of steel on steel, and the train grinds to a halt. Uh-oh. What's going on now? I thought we were supposed to just get back to everything, the job, and what's up with distracting me in the middle of it? Alright, let's take a look around, see what's going on here. Tunnel collapse, not getting out this way. Ooh, so we can't just leave, huh? What's this item here? Got a fuse, alright. Looks like some squatters are living in the station. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have to fix this thing, huh? What's here? Advanced medikit, we'll send that to the stash. And a fuse box. It's a fuse box. Nothing looks out of order. Try swapping the old fuse that is in the BTRM track. The lights in the bathroom go out. The light status next to track remains red. Add an extra fuse to the track. You place the extra fuse into a socket next to track. The status light next to track lightens up green. Okay, leave it alone. We don't need the bathroom to be open anyway, so. What does it say about the train car now? The station's main power is off. The train's not going anywhere until it's back on. Okay? It looks like the console can extend the nearby bridge to cross the track. Extend the bridge. The mechanical bridge smoothly slides out and spans the gap over the tracks. Yeah, this is one of the few like side tangents that the game wants to go on outside of a story intersection. So dark in the maintenance area you can barely see your hand in front of your face. The door is stuck shut. Get your muscle to force the door open. I always like how it's always Iger. Technically it says that because you can have someone else here that has a decent strength to do it. So Iger's shoulder checks the door and the crack of the splintered plastic fills your ears. The door pops open. See what this says. High explosive grenade. Awesome. Let's swap it out for now. Let's see what this door. See if we can open this door. And there's the fuse breaker right there. Let's reset it. What the? That's them! Open fire! Why didn't you open fire while we were walking to the room? And dang it, you had to hit me out of all the game glitched out. Yeah, I've got to get myself in a cover. I'm bleeding badly. The Decker needs food. He's bleeding badly. All right. Let's see. Dietrich, cover. Let's get aim on you. Why do you keep missing, lady? Nice. Alright, let's get aim on that. Let's see if we can try to finish this person off. Ah, so close. Try going over here. I was about to say, please don't hit me. That's the only problem with playing the glass cannon characters. I'm just like going, crossing my fingers every time I fight someone. I'm like, please don't hit me. Or please don't kill me. I've got too much. I will eventually build up my body because I'll have to survive this, but I'm waiting till didn't think I'd hit with that one. Alright, Dietrich. Just go and haste you. Got one. Oh. There we go. Yeah, let's try to slash him. Ow. Let's mark this guy if we can. Alright. There we go. Alright, we're still in combat mode, so mainly because there's going to be more people on the other side, so. Alright, got the encrypted PDA, so let's start setting it up for the next section. Alright, heal you. Let's do that. I'll put you right there. Alright, let's see. Are you both on aim? Okay, that's probably good enough. Oh, there you go. I was wondering where the other people were. Yeah, not a very good spot for you. Wait, I was about to say, is the music gonna kick back on here any second? Okay, can't see him from there. How do I keep missing at like point blank range? See, I can't see anyone from here, can I? I'll just move up a little bit. Maybe there. Ow. Hit me with some AP bombs. Ooh, ow. That was not good. Yowie, yowie. Alright, Glory's out, unfortunately. Actually, can I see? Let's see. Bam. Messed her up badly. Holy cow. Can I see? Yeah, that would hurt you, so. Nope, can't hit you either way, so. Ah. I mean, I get the whole, like, being high dex and all this other stuff. That's why I can't. Ow! No, I'm out. Hopefully I can kill these guys before the timer runs out. Man, I didn't expect them to run in and just smack me, though. Good lord. Dietrich. Let's see what she's... Oh, she's only got... Might as well just have her use that on me. I have to switch to that. Well, I mean, Ow. Yeah, I gotta stop being a glass cannon in this game just because of the... I need to put more HP into myself, so... Like I said, I'm gonna do that, I'm just waiting for the right time, that's all. So let's go ahead and haste you. Oh my god, come on! Hit the guy! Alright, let's try this. There we go. Alright, I'm running in here. And then running. There we go. Good, he didn't actually, There we go. Ha, done. Whew. That was nasty. Yeah. Yeah, I can't keep doing this low body thing forever. I'll eventually need to have like a lot more juice in me, so. Alright. Okay. Guess we're done. So let's get out of here and back to base. Since we got the encrypted PDA and everything like that, so. Doesn't look like the train will be going anywhere with the access bridge extended. Right. Forgot to shut that off. Retract. Alright, let's get out of here. Confirm. The cruise bazaar. The rest of the trip home is uneventful. One thing is clear. Someone is hunting you. This ambush was no chance gang warfare, but an organized attempt on your life. If Green Winters was right, then whoever killed him is now after you. The PDA that you retrieved from your attackers may hold some answers. It's time to return to your safe house and consult Paul Amstel. So once again, after a major job, we are back to base. Back to the cruise bazaar. Alright, we get 8 karma total for the whole thing for doing the mission. And we gain another level, so everyone's level 5 this time. So, alright. Let's see, Iger, what do you get for level 5? She gets either wired reflexes, which has the ability to dodge attacks, which is pretty awesome, and adds +1 movement. Let's see, and then what is your other one? Sharpshooter. Iger gains a customized ranger arms, submachine gun, or SM-3, damage 20, armor piercing. Ooh, yeah, better weapon. Yeah, we'll just give her the... I mean, the Huntress, the cyber reflexes are pretty good, but I'm going to go with the cyber shooter. It gives her basically a unique weapon, so... Because she's mainly a ranged character anyway, so... Alright, Dietrich, what do you get? You get either Conductivity. The AoE radius on Dietrich's Electric Core spell is increased by 1. And then Static. Dietrich's Electric Core spell now costs 1 AP to cast. So instead of it being 2, it's 1. So either gets higher tiles or 1. I'm going to do the 1 since I'm usually using it for buffing anyway, so... Alright, Glory, what do you get? We can either give her Cyber... see, Glory's Adrenaline Pump lasts 1 additional round for a total of 4 rounds, cooldown of 5. Or she gains the ability to revive a teammate. She's always going to have the revive items on her, so I'm going to give her the Cyberware Adrenaline Pump. Basically, that gives her 1 AP for a longer than before. So, and I think the cooldown is less, because I think the cooldown before that was 6. So we'll give her the enhanced adrenals. And Blitz, since we're never going to use you, doesn't matter. But if you wanted to, you could either upgrade his deck to the Excalibur, or we can give her Cyberware installation. Gains a Hydraulic Jack Cyberware, increasing his movement speed by 4 as a 0 AP action. That's not bad if you want him to get to one location either 2 or way faster, so either way would work. So, like I said, I'm not going to use them, but we'll give him Cyberware installation. So, alright, I think we're good to go. So, alright, let's see if anyone has anything new. Let's see. How's Alexander doing, my friend? He's adjusting with difficulty. Samuel shakes his head. Your friend Dietrich took a chance in sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in me. How's Silk doing? Yes, she mentioned that you had sent her. I don't know what you told her, Blackwire, but whatever you said, it works. Silk's determination is truly inspiring. A cram head is a difficult thing to beat, but I don't doubt that she'll make it. Alright. Yeah, same thing basically on those guys. How are you, Lane, the old man? Even from a distance, it's clear something is not right with Lane. Coming closer, you can see dried blood on his face and clothes, as well as a few discolored blotches that pass for bruises on troll skin. More noticeably, there is a considerable damage to the man's left prosthetic leg, which he now tends to with tools as antiquated as the leg itself. What the hell happened? Nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. Someone comes at me, thinks me weak, and I show him otherwise. Leaning to one side, Lane crutch is caked in more blood and what appears to be bits of hair. Tell me who did this to you. Just a punk with some bad ideas. Forget about it. Are you sure you're alright? I've suffered far worse, as you might imagine. I don't need you or anyone else babying me. I'll leave you to it then, I guess. Alright. Not much story there, so... Let's see how Simi's doing. Last time we talked to her, she got a black eye. Let's see if she's in a better place now or not. The girl stares blankly in a vacant sky. She's still sporting a black eye, and there are fresh tears on her cheek, but she doesn't seem to notice them. Kim, are you alright? She shakes her head. I don't know. Have I ever been when I'm me? She then lowers her gaze from the heavens and regards you, her eyes showing slightly more clarity than before. Been thinking, remembering, wondering. So, what have you been thinking about? Kim hugs herself tightly around her midsection, drawing herself in and doing the impossible of making herself even thinner. I'm not sure I want to talk about it. I don't ever talked about it with Monica. I'm here to listen, just like Monica was. Okay. She takes a breath to ready herself, then bites a lip as her eyes search the unseen. Monica said I would forget. She thought the Sims might help. In there, I'm strong and I never have to lose anyone. But then I come back out here, where children play in the streets, and I remember where I see Doc Escabel, and I remember He was mad at me for losing her, but now I don't know, even if he even remembers. He looks right through me, but I did what he told me. I saw him every month. I took the medicine. I got as much food as I could, but he said it wasn't enough, that it would never be. Monica said a mother is always a mother, even when her baby dies inside her. She said she would go to heaven. I'm sure they're up there together. Monica will take care of her. Do you want to talk about that black eye? Zach said not to. He said I might get hurt again. Kim, if Zach is hurting you. No, it wasn't him. Zach loves me. He loves everyone. Sounds like an abusive relationship to me. But the man who did this knew Zach. He said they used to work together before they came to the cruise bazaar. But he said he wasn't allowed to stay because of Monica. She said he was bad for the cruise bazaar, and the man didn't like that. Now he wants to come back. He wants to be the new Zach. He told me he had better stuff. Let me try it. But then, she touches a finger to her black eye. He said to tell Zach that he was coming back to take what was his. If Monica kept him out, it was for good reason. If you say so, I'll leave you be. Well, the fact that she lost her child is one reason why she's in The Sims, so, yeah. Bad day all around. Just goes to show that Shadowrunner's life isn't all cracked up to be, or just people in the general area. Oh yeah, we haven't really done anything with the phone booth in a while, so. Alright, let's see if Lucky Strike has anything to say. I think I forgot to mention it before, but when we talked to Silk, she talked about her old companions. I forgot to mention that one of her companions that she mentioned is actually in the second game, or the third game, Hong Kong. I think it was Ractor or Pactor or whatever his name was. He's actually in that game. I forgot to mention it last time we talked to her. Hey, I don't mean to be rude, but this is my off time. I intend to spend it smoking and drinking myself into a stupor, not talking. She waves you away. If you want to chat later, we'll chat. For now, give me some breathing room. Okay. I guess because we talked to her last time, so it wasn't a new section. So, alright. But yeah, she mentioned one of her companions, and that was, they're mentioned in the Hong Kong game. So, if I ever do that one, I'll mention who that is. So, I don't think it's that. Let's see if anyone else has anything new. No, nothing there. Okay. Toodles. Let's see. I don't need any new gear. There's no gear just popped up in between. We can't go do another job, but I don't need to do that right now. Mainly because we need to talk to Amsel about the encrypted data. So I guess I could go back to base at this point. Yeah, let's just go back. So nothing really major. So now let's go to the safe house. Alright, now that we've finished a mission, we should have new dialogue with all our companions, so. One look at Blitz's face is enough to tell you that something is gnawing at him. He stands beside his table, playing with a coffee spoon. Oh, Blackwell, what you need? What's going on, Blitz?
Well, Chief, I hate to admit it, but I might be in a little bit of trouble here.
You don't say. There's an awkward pause, then Blitz plows on ahead.
Well, you remember those creditors I told you about? The ones who loaned me all that money?
Yeah.
Well, as it turns out, some are a little less forgiving than I thought they were.
Keep talking.
Well, one in particular seems to have taken things kind of personally.
How personal are we talking here?
I, got a package in the mail. It had somebody's thumbs in it.
Thumbs? Were we pointing at the Big Lebowski here? Or no, that was toes. Give me 5 minutes. I can get your toe, dude.
Yeah, thumbs. They came in a cigar box, packed in salt. I have no idea who they belong to. I'm pretty sure that they're meant to convey some sort of message.
Really, you think so? He nods gravely.
Yeah, I'm almost certain of it. I don't want to lose my thumbs, Chief. I like my thumbs. I think that I need to pay this guy back. Luckily, I've got a plan. I know how to get myself out of hot water with meat grinder, and I've got all specced out.
Let me get this straight. You took a loan from someone named Meat Grinder?
Hey, Chief, come on. I feel bad enough about this already. There's no need to rub it in. Anyway, like I was saying, I can make it all right again, but I need your help to do it.
I'm listening.
Well, there's this group out in Dragonkip. They call themselves the Landenberg Ring. They're a financial crime organization. There's a lot of bad blood between them and Meat Grinder's operation. Well, back when I was running with the Schwarzheisen, I laid out the groundwork for a hit on the Landenberg Ring. I was never able to make a good on it, though. For some reason, none of the other gangers ever volunteered to help out. With your help, I could steal enough money from them to cover my debt and get myself back into Meat Grinder's good graces in the process. So what do you think? A quick run, just you and me, with me in the Matrix and you and my man on the ground? We hit them, satisfy my debt, and laugh about it on our way back home. Sound like a plan? I'm not going to bring him to this job, by the way. Alright, Blitz, but in the future you need to be more upfront with me about things like this. No problem, Chief. No problem at all. You can count on me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got some last-minute stuff to take care of before it gets started. And Blackwall, thanks. No sweat, Blitz. Meet you at the U-Bond. Oh, no, not as such, Chief. I won't be physically going to Dragon Kip. I've seen enough of that place for one lifetime. I'll be checking in from a terminal that's set up here in the cruise bazaar. Whoa. Yeah. No, I'm not gonna bring him with me anyway. But yeah, you could say, hey, well, hold on a second. Great, okay, well, I guess then I'll send you a con when I get there. Sounds good, Chief. Thanks again. I think you can take him, but it's one of those, like, he doesn't want to be there. He's like, no. Alright, and we could talk about Amstel the next thing. And we also actually have a new DVD we can watch as well, I believe. The media tracker, though, DVD player slides out in a plastic, with a bit better plastic case. So, third DVD. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the discs up to speed. The scratch LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. Track 1. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of the green Winters winks into the screen. The timestamp on this video reads 20:42:85. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared, and not as the fabled Dragon Slayer or the big CEO of Dare Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me, and in a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Where pauses, his gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us out on the island of Powell to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20, his last family vacation with us. A year later, he began his meteoric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother, and when I fell out of a little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast in the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that. I will find you. I owe you that much. Well, until you get killed by someone who works for the Fire Wing, or Fire Wing herself. Anyway, Winters disappears and you find yourself back in the menu screen. Play track 2. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of Green Winters winks on the screen. The timestamp on the video reads 20:49:66. Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Finanzwesen, one of those chic print-based mags that they produced for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in there, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge his existence. He clicks on an off-screen button and the image of Winters disappears. It is replaced by a digital scan of a magazine page. SK stock suffers and post-burnout brain drain, November 12, 2039. In an aftermath of the Dragon Lofri's hostile takeover, Satyr Krupp oh my god. Schweringindustrie-Gesellschaft. Whatever. SK1, 2. A continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. The company stock took a major hit when Lofri deposed former CEO Wilhelmina Grafe Benoit last August. 3 months later, long-held power positions within the SKI empire continue empty as the Dragon consolidates its power base. The most recent casualties of Lofri's takeover include Alexander Kobayashi, former CEO of Satyr Munitions, Matthias Donner, former treasurer of Ruhr Datafax, and Werner Harding, former CEO of Dale Defense. Harding stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vauclair, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago. Winter's face winks back onto the screen. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian's mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother, the footnote. Winters disappears and you find yourself back in the main screen. While this track does not load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with meaningless streams of text. Addy, bunch of stuff. So it probably says something, but I don't want to go through the whole thing. So text disappears, you find yourself back in the menu. Track 4. While the track does load, it's clearly corrupted, same as before. A bunch of gobbledygook. Probably actually says something if you can actually read it, but anyway, track 5. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grinds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. From the desk of Werner Harding, Dr. Vauclair, 2034-910. It is my sad duty to inform you that by a unanimous vote of Auschwitz your position as CEO of Dale Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month.
Your continued misallocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The supervisory board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragon first thing must have been enormous, but your continuing obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon, I might add, has proven a negative influence on this company and an unjustified drain on our company's resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We have prepared a generous severance package to assist you in this time of transition. If there is anything more that we can do to help you, please don't hesitate to ask. Werner Harding. The disc spins down and you find yourself sitting at the main menu. Eject the disc. So just a little bit extra, not major plot stuff, but just a little extra dialogue, you know. And let's talk to Dietrich. Dietrich raises a ball at your approach. Hey again, boss. You need something. Any updates on Alexander? Nothing new, boss. He's adjusting. It's going to take some time. Have you heard of an organization called the Lodge? Lodge? He freezes up. Boss, do you mean the Vac Lodge? I don't know. Maybe Lodge was all that I heard. Let me describe them to you. You can tell me if what I'm saying fits. Shadowy, powerful, secretive as hell, with deep pockets and a penchant for hiding the truth. They conduct all of their business through dupes and go-betweens. He gives you a sideway glance. That sound about right? That's them in a nutshell, yeah. Well, if it's them, whoever you're talking about, I ain't saying it is, then I advise you to stay away from them. Stay away, far away. Whatever you do, don't take their money. If you do, they'll own you. I take it they're dangerous then? He sighs. More than you could know. Most folks don't even believe they exist, but being a shaman in Berlin has its perks. I've seen enough evidence to believe. Tell me what you've heard about him. Yeah, there was a lot of dialogue where we say, Dietrich? Let me tell you something. Well, the story is that the Black Lodge is the mother of all conspiracies. Supposedly been around for hundreds of years. They've been practicing magic since well before the awakening. Impossible, I know, but I believe it. You ever heard of the Masons, the Knight Templar, the Bavarian Illuminati? They were all puppets of the Black Lodge. None of them knew who they were working for, while the Lodge was there pulling the strings. They always have been. They still are today. That's the story. I didn't realize you were a conspiracy theorist, Dietrich. I ain't, but I've been around long enough to know that I should trust my gut, and it tell me that the Black Lodge is real. Your mileage may vary, of course. Believe whatever you want. You already know what I think. Any thoughts about the last run you'd like to share? Hell of a thing, wasn't it? That run made me glad that I don't have to spend a lot of time in the hospitals, I tell you that much. There wasn't a single aspect of that building that didn't make me feel uneasy. He pauses for a moment, then looks you in the eye. Kind of a pity putting that vigor on ice like that. Least we could do was hear him out. I get that the job is the job, and all, but if our client really did screw him over, he deserved better than to get buried for it. He shrugs. I guess we'll never know. I was thinking about what you told me earlier. You said that your idol was gonna make you pick a fight that you couldn't win. He shrugs. It's bound to happen eventually, probably sooner rather than later. Isn't there something you can do to stop that from happening? Well, I suppose that I could refuse, but that probably wouldn't be a good idea, especially not now. Remember, boss, the Dragon Slayer is where my magic comes from. If I turn him away from him, you had better believe they'll turn away from me. Besides which, I don't even know if I can refuse him anymore. He's been with me for so long, I don't know where he stops and I begin. He grins at you. Don't worry about me, boss. I've known that this was coming for my entire life. When it happens, I'll go down in a blaze of glory, the likes of which you can't even imagine. That's a promise. Let's see. You can't really believe that your idol wants you to commit suicide. Of course not. The Dragon Slayer does not want me to die, but he does want me to kill dragons. They ain't supposed to be safe or easy. It isn't my idol's fault that I'm getting too old to keep up with his wishes. Well, if you were to pick a fight with a different kind of dragon, say maybe a gang or a corporation? He pauses for a moment. That's an interesting idea. If it were big enough and heinous enough, he might be satisfied. I never tried to bargain or negotiate with the Dragon Slayer before. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it. I don't know how he'd take it either. The Dragon Slayer doesn't like to be questioned, and his temper is even shorter than mine. But I'll tell you what, boss, I'll think about it. Nothing right now, Dietrich. Alright. Let's see what Iger has to say. Iger offers you a shallow nod. Backfire? Any thoughts on the last run? She shrugs. It was a nice change of pace. A simple job with a straightforward objective. At the end of the day, the whole thing was pretty by the numbers. The rigger died, we got paid, and everyone was all happy. That's a win in my book. Do you trust me, Iger? She pauses for a moment, considering. Finally, she nods. Yeah, I do. You've earned that much.
I haven't always agreed with the decisions, Blackfire, but you've proven your competence. It's only fair for me to acknowledge it.
Now tell me what happened to your team.
This again, why do you care? I don't care, Blackfire.
Well, it's because it's pretty clear that if you had your way, you'd still be with him, and a good leader places a priority on knowing his team. She nods slowly nods.
All right, I'll tell you. I suppose that you deserve to know. What happened to us was Hoffman. He was a rookie, the kind of some big money corporate exec. He was good on paper, and he made it through KSK training, so he was technically qualified to join a team, but he was way too green to fit in with ours. Still, he wanted to be a hero, and his family had enough clout to get him an assignment of his choosing. I don't know how many strings Hoffman's daddy had to pull to get him assigned to our team, but he pulled them. Hoffman became our 9th squad mate, despite Metzger's objections. Anyway, flash forward a few weeks, we were closing in on one of our Russian mob's major trafficking operations. They've been using a series of warehouses 50 miles from the border as a staging area for their convoys. Women and girls from Eastern Europe were being housed there. When the convoys came, they'd be crammed into cargo containers and hauled across the border into Germany. Go to any brothel on the border and you have a look around. Chances are you'll find at least a few girls who spent some time in those warehouses. Slovakians, Hungarians, Poles, you name it. The mob has been smuggling them over for decades. But we were in a position to derail their operations, and we weren't going to let our new addition slow us down. We hit them by surprise. We hit them hard. Faisha and Braun managed to take down the Banshee that they had patrolling the site. Wolf had reconnaissance drones overhead, trafficking battle tack feeds to the rest of us. We picked off the gunmen one by one. Then they had numbers on us, but they didn't know where to hit us. We had eyes in the sky, we had to cover concealment. Every time they thought they had a fix on us, we'd shift positions and hit them again. They might as well have been fighting ghosts. Then Hoffman broke cover and gave away our position, and after that, all hell burst loose. Wolf went out first. The sounds of it will haunt me for the rest of my days. An explosion, a choked scream, and then this long, drawn-out gurgling sound. When he died, his drones went down with him, and there weren't too many hostiles to track without them. I'll spare you the gory details of Backfire. Suffice it to say that my team was wiped out. Iger's face clouds again. You can see the tears beginning to well in her eyes. I watched Metzger die. With a visible effort, she clamps down on her emotions and calms herself. When she speaks again, her voice is flat. I took 3 rounds myself, had to drag myself back across the Odense line into Germany. I almost died. So that's the story. My KSK career died with the rest of the team. Our mission was illegal after all, off the books. There was no going back for me, so I wound up here. She looks you in the eye, her tone isn't passive. Did that tell you everything you wanted to know, Fearless Leader? Are you set to fight now? Yes, thank you, Iger. So tell me, what's your takeaway from my tale of woe? I figured that you've got one. Let's see. You're hung up on the past. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't matter what I think. What you think and how you act on it is what's important. She pauses to consider. Normally I call that a cop-out answer, but I guess there's some truth to it. In any case, you don't need to worry about me, Fearless Leader. My baggage ain't going to hurt my job, performance, or anything. You might be thinking that I judged you too harshly in the beginning because of Hoffman. You'd be right on that count. I probably did. But everything else that I said after Monica died was justified, whether you want to believe it or not. Giving your command to this team was a hasty decision made for the wrong reasons. I stand by that assessment. But between then and now, I've been watching you like a hawk, and you've grown to Backfire. You weren't the right choice to lead us before. I still believe that, but you are now. Thanks, Iger. Good talk. She nods. Until next time. At least we're caking that facade. I mean, she basically accepted us, but you know. Glory's pallid face lights up at your approach. A genuine smile spreads across her lips. Backfire, good to see you. Any thoughts about the last run? There isn't much to say. She pauses to say you for a moment before continuing. I think that we should have given Thorvald a chance to prove his claims. Waiting a few minutes to kill him wouldn't have harmed anything. I technically did hear him out, but anyway. That said, I understand why you did what you did. The job was to kill him. We all knew what we were signed on for. She shrugs. We're one step closer to being Alice's feet. In the end, that's all that really matters. Are you ready to, you too, Glory. How are things with you? She pauses for a moment, considering. You know what? I am happy, actually, for the first time in a long time. I have you to thank for that. Are you ready to tell me about that chrome you're sporting? Be patient, Blackwire. The explanation for that is coming. A look of unease flits across her face. I'm not sure that you're going to like it, though. You needed time, and I gave you time. Are you ready to talk about First Stell yet?
Yeah. Glory looks troubled, more so than you've ever seen her before. Whatever memory she's dredging up must be exceedingly painful.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been looking forward to this, but yeah, it's time. Blackwire, look, I'm about to tell you some things about myself that might change your opinion of me. It's entirely possible that you're going to hate me based on what's coming up next. I've accepted that, and if that's what happens, I seriously believe that I deserve it.
She looks at you in the eye, her expression grim.
So tell me, are you sure that you want to keep pushing forward?
This is important for you, Glory, and after everything we've been through, I think we both know that whatever you have to tell me, I'm ready to listen.
Thanks, Blackwire. Thanks for being a friend. So when we left off last time, I had just moved from the streets of Timmingen to the warm and inviting confines of Firshdale. Motto and I were happy there for a little while, and Harrow embraced me as a long-lost daughter. I should probably take a moment to talk more about Harrow. He's going to be an important figure in the story. I don't know what his age was. He seemed old enough to be paternal, but young enough to hang out with the kids on something like a peer level. Best guess, I'd say he was in his mid-20s. He was handsome and well-built with a neatly trimmed beard and thick brown hair, and there was something else about him, something uncanny. Harrow had this charisma, this raw, magnetic attraction that just made people latch onto him. I saw it over and over. All it took was a few words and a pat on the shoulder, and Harrow would have a new convert. The other kids at the farm followed him around like lost puppies. As much as I loved Mata and as much as I thought she loved me, we forgot about one another when Harrow was around. All that we wanted was to be close to him, to be part of his inner circle, and soon enough we were. For a girl of 17, it was all terribly exciting. Harrow had this rules of living that he would teach us, rules about self-determination and the importance of disobedience. He claimed to have taught classes at the University of Berlin, which he painted as a mix between an earthly paradise and Antichrist playground. He told us how Firshdale would be the focal point of a new movement for the children of the fatherland. He told us we were special. We ate it up, of course. We were kids. For those of us in the inner sanctum, Harrow would share even more. He had the powers, the likes of which I had never seen. Not my father's drunken fists or my own childish experiments, but genuine, incredible power. He said that it came from the Horned God, an ancient deity that he venerated.
Kind of reminds me, I mean, outside of this game, I think they have a similar thing, a Horned God, another fantasy genre, you know, D&D and stuff like that. But trying to remember, I think there's some like, maybe I'm thinking of the Black Holland Road when it comes to something similar to that.
He knew about my latent abilities right away, and he offered to teach me. Naturally, I accepted.
I've heard about the Horned God. His followers have a poor reputation, especially among women.
Any bad reputation they might have gained is well deserved, but there was more to it than that. As you will see,
Glorious eyes.
Hang with me, Blackwire. Rough waters ahead. So I became Harrow's apprentice. He taught me to channel magic and summon spirits. He taught me rituals and pagan traditions, Machiavellian philosophy, and Nietzschean ethics. Above all, he taught me to connect with this Horned God, and through it I learned power and arrogance, and it was all downhill from there. For the next few years I lived at Firshdale as Harrow's enforcer and right-hand girl. I was also his sometimes wife and concubine, but this was a distinction that I shared with all of the girls in the commune, including my beloved Manta. I came to learn that she had been his long before she met me, but by this point I didn't care. I'd embraced the rules of living. I was Harrow's creatures through and through. I didn't ask questions, and I walked the path that was in front of me. Other fun facts about those years: I learned cruelty. I had power now, and new idol encouraged me to use it. Harrow did the same. Any children who didn't pull their weight were subjugated to my tender mercies, and I was anything but tender. I took what I wanted rather than asking for it. I liked it. It was fun. I also came to learn that Harrow's Horned God was not the I should first worshipped by throwing back cults across Germany. It was certainly a god with horns, but it came from an altogether different tradition. Care to hazard a guess? The devil? In the magically active community, we refer to it as the adversary, but yes, same being more or less. My idol, the ancient deity that was feeding me my power, was the antithesis of everything that is right and good. And you know what? I didn't care. In our time together, Harrow and I committed more atrocities than I could count. At this point, I was onto all of his tricks. I knew that Firshdale was nothing more than a honey trap, carefully designed to lure local children into my master's clutches. I knew that the kids who seemed resistant to Harrow's brainwashing techniques wound up fertilizing the garden. I knew that Harrow's entire manifesto was bullshit, and I knew that through it all, Harrow and the adversary were laughing because I was already right there beside them. I don't want to pin the blame of my decisions on anyone but me. That said, I would like to posit that my father's connection to the Crucifixers might have helped play into my willingness to serve the adversary. In my warped, indoctrinated little brain, I equated the church with evil, so the opposite of that I figured had to be, well, if not good, then at least not totally bad. But I was kidding myself, of course. My new deity was the very definition of bad. Serving it made me bad. End of story.
Go ahead, make your excuses. We all make our own choices in life, and when we choose to hurt innocent kids, my sympathies for you went right out the window. No. I can't excuse the choices that you made, but I can understand why you made them.
That's big of you, Blackfire. I genuinely mean that.
Glory takes a moment to steel herself, then continues on.
Anyway, one day, Hera invited me on a field trip to Stuttgart. Over the years that I was in Firstel, the commune had easily doubled in size. I was thriving, all thanks to the efforts of Manta and the girls like her. Hera would send the girls out to neighboring cities to lure in the street kids that nobody would miss. He targeted children because they were easy to indoctrinate, and because nothing makes the adversary happier than the corruption of the innocent. As we drove out to pick up the new recruits, I was already planning ahead. It was a foregone conclusion that I would pay my father a visit. The irony of a group of cruisers getting immolated by a genuine servant of the actual devil tickled me to no end. So when Hera stopped to fill up on diesel, I hopped out of the van and headed out on foot to my parents' place. Hera wasn't overly concerned about my absence. I had long since reached the point where I could assert my autonomy, and he knew that I'd be back. I wound up at my folks' home sometime around noon. I could hear the adversary whispering in my ear, telling me what to do, and long since learned to listen to its voice. It always rewarded me with extra power when I did its bidding. It told me to knock, so I did. As the door opened, I could feel a torrent of flames welling up in the astral plane all around me. It told me to channel them into the doorway, into my father, so I did. But of course the person who opened the door wasn't my father, it was my mother. So I watched her flesh blacken and melt as I heard her scream, and I broke into hysterics. I heard the adversary laugh, and at that moment I realized that it was laughing at me. I'm so sorry, Glory. Glory nods, a grim expression on her delicate face. Thanks, we're almost to the end now. Thanks for sticking with me. It was like a lever that had been pulled. All at once, the bubble popped. Oops. I accidentally skipped the dialogue in there. Sorry about that. Realizing this was all the end, actually fixing it was something else entirely. I knew that I had to get away from Hera, that this was the first thing to do, so I bit my lip and did my best to ignore the happy babble of the new recruits on the trip back to Firstel, and I managed to get through the raid without screaming. Once we were back at the commune, I broke into Hera's safe, stole all of the commune's resources, and ran. I knew now when Hera realized that I'd done, or whether he'd even care. All I know is that nobody came after me, so I kept running and running until I got to Berlin. Getting past the wall was fairly simple. You know how easy it is to obtain falsified papers. The biggest obstacle that I faced during my fight was the adversary itself. I could run from Hera, but how do you run from something that tied your own soul?
Let me guess. Snip, snip. The haunted look in Glory's eyes is heartbreaking. She gives you another curt, grim nod.
I walked into the office of the first street doc I could find, pointed at all the biggest, bulkiest pieces of Tupperware that he had on display, and told him to put them onto me. He tried to upsell me on better merchandise, arguing that I was asking for was old and inefficient, better suited to be installed in a museum than in a body. He told me that I'd be shedding my essence, and that once it was gone I'd never be able to get it back. I stuck to my guns. After all, shedding my essence was the whole point. Gloria looks up to you. Her eyes are sunken and hollow, and the aura of loss about her is palpable. She looks like a woman who's been through hell. That's all for now, Blackfire. You've heard the tale, and you now know why I'm the way I am. You know the things I've done and how much I have to atone for. If you still want my company, fine. But if I've lost our friendship, I understand that too. But for now, I need to be alone.
Whew, boy. Yeah, basically she did it. She did it all for whatever, and in the end, she was tricked by the thing she trusts the most, and had to snip off all her body parts to reduce her connection to the adversary. But all our companions have had something add, something terrible, something silly, and something poignant. But what awaits us next? What job will we take on next? Is Blitz's job that important that we need to do it right now? We'll find out next time in the next episode of Shadowrun Dragonfall. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.